You know that Dr. Byrne here and I, back in the day when she was at the St. Charles High School, we partnered together morning announcements.
We did, we sure did.
She has tapes to prove it.
I do.
But,
I'd like to
so,
see those.
well, I'm sure you would.
Oh,
So anyway, so we did that. So I support this, and I think this concept and idea, what you guys are doing here, is terrific. You got a good mentor over here.
Sure do.
You know that, all right. So you have a good mentor to start with here. And take this ride this as far as you can ride it, be intense, be passionate about what you're doing. And I think at the end of the day, that translates into success. You can't be complacent here. I think there's a lot of, this program here, the design of it is to be intense and to, you know, prove your worth. If not, hey, you know, capitalism, there's a lot of bankruptcy in a capitalistic society. Businesses fail. Okay, so that's the way I guess I would view it. With that, I'll shut my mouth and the floor is yours.
I'm Tommy.
I'm Nate.
And we're at 303 Auto Services. So it all started when my mom was coming home from work. She told me I had to go get her car cleaned after she got home, and I was doing homework at the time. I was busy, and she was busy as well. She had more work to do as soon as she got home. So on my way to the car wash, I was regretting the fact that I had to do this, but I was also thinking about an idea. And this idea was having a service come to our house to clean our car. And right then, that's when we decided to have 303 Auto Services. So this problem roots off the fact that people do not have time, and that car washes can take too long, and they are pricey as well. The other factor is they are mobile, and 303 Auto Services brings the mobile factor. And let's see what else people have to say about it. So during our survey, we asked the question, would you be more likely to get a car wash slash detail if it was done at your home or workplace? And 70% of people said yes they would, and 20% said maybe. And then as I was interviewing people about the problem of the car wash and how it's not mobile, one person said the time it takes to get my car detailed is very extensive. I can't find time to fit into my schedule at Schlegel.
Okay, so 303 Auto Services is a mobile car washing and detailing service that provides a peak of convenience for the customer. Our company is based around the customer to ensure they receive a high quality detail or wash with each purchase. And as they always say, there's no I in team, so each member of our group has provided the key factor to our success thus far. So first we're going to start with Jimmy. Jimmy's the founder and the CEO of the company. And as of late, he's been focusing on projecting our future as a company, as well as ensuring that we're able to provide a high quality detail or wash with each purchase. Next we have Tommy. So Tommy is primarily going to be focusing on the marketing aspect of our company. He has a lot of experience back in the day with Facebook as well as Instagram marketing, so yeah, he's going to focus on social media. Nate, we call Nate the numbers guy. Nate's going to be focusing on the financials. He's been doing a very good job of projecting our revenue and how many cars we're going to be focusing on and looking to achieve in the first year of our company and 3 years to come. And I, Blake, am going to be focusing as well on social media marketing, as well as media such as videos and designs for the company as we need them. And with our growth thus far, we can give a lot of credit to Rafi, our mentor, for giving a great basis to the company. We appreciate all he's taught us about professionalism and making us feel like businessmen at the young ages from 16 to 18. So on that note, we have grown a ton.
So you're probably wondering, what does 303 Auto Services do as a company? So back when we started thinking about ideas, what we wanted to do for a service, our initial solution was that we were going to do exterior hand washes and do this at people's homes and businesses. But we didn't see much profitability in just doing $15 car washes with the amount of employees that we would need. So we sat back down at the drawing board and we came up with another solution. So for year one, we really want to focus on exterior and interior details at people's homes and people's workplaces. But in the future, we also want to look at expanding to massive parking lots and possibly the school. For example, our school, St. Charles North, we've already met with the principal and we talked about it, and there's about 1,000 spots between the students, staff, and we predicted that 40% of those spots would be occupied by our service. So about 400 students and staff would be
purchasing our service.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of detailing your car and why you need to do it. So there's kind of two parts of detailing. So there's paint correction and paint protection. Now correction is when you're fixing scratches and nicks in your car to make it smooth, and then protection is going to fix it for the future. Now the importance of investing in this high quality service is for one, your image. You know, if your car is clean, it says a lot about you and your professionalism. Long-term maintenance, if you don't detail or fix your paint, it's going to decay, and which is going to actually hurt your resale value when you try to sell your car in the future. Our paint sealants last for about a year's worth of protection, and that's where that price differential is between the wash and the detail. Is with a car detail, there comes a lot more obviously detail, hence the name. You know, you're buffing, you're correcting, and it's a lot longer process, where when you're just washing, it's just soap and water cleaning the outside of the car.
Alright, who is our target market and customer persona? First of all, it is the 9 to 5 employees that have a long 8-hour day, and when they're coming home, I'm sure the first thing on their mind is not going to the car wash, rather it's coming home from dinner, enjoying the time with the kids. So we want to give them the chance to have our service done at their workplace or at their home. And then the other group of people are students, and they have an 8-hour day as well, and during that time, they're coming home from school tired, they got homework to do, and we'd like to give the service during school or when they get home. The other people are car fanatics, the ones who have beautiful cars, they want to keep them clean. And the other people, these two go hand in hand, are the people who do not trust machine washing. When you have a nice car or you care for your car, machine washing is not the safest option, as it does leave watermarks and scratches on your car. So why do we target these people? Because they do not have the time to go to a car wash, and we want to give that time back in their day to them. And the other reason is because people need precise detailing to have that good image and the good look on their car.
So a little bit about the competition here in our area and countrywide. We got Wash OS, which is a mobile detailing company located in the Los Angeles area. They do offer a high quality mobile wash and detail. Their prices aren't as competitive as ours. But again, you cannot get that service in St. Charles, and that's why we want to bring this and customize it here in St. Charles and offer that to our city. Also, we have El Diamante, which is a hand wash and detail service here in St. Charles. But of course, they don't incorporate that mobile aspect that we do, and they are a great service as well here in St. Charles.
So as Blake was saying, I'm kind of the numbers guy of the group. So this is kind of just a projection for our first year, and this is just focusing on exterior and interior details. And it'll cost us about $33 per car to do. And as you can see at the bottom, our total revenue is $16,500. Out of that, the expenses will be $3,630, which will leave us with a profit of $12,870, which gives us a 78% profit margin. And going off that, in the future, I was saying that we want to focus on massive parking lots and possibly the school. So I also did a projection for the school parking lot. As you can see, our weekly revenue will be about $4,000. The total expenses will be $1,365, which will leave us with a profit of $2,635. This also gives us a 66% profit margin.
So a little bit about what we've done so far and some of our next steps as a company. One of the first things we did was when we met with the principal of St. Charles North to go over that idea of offering our service to the school and the staff. And she loved the idea. She's all for it, but we need to meet with the superintendent of the district to get the okay to make sure that this is a possible idea. We also met with Rafi's advisory group and gave a speech to them. This was a big step for us as a company. Not only did we get great feedback and advice from them to kind of shape our idea, but it also was huge in terms of confidence of talking in front of people, because there was a lot of people, there were probably 90 or so that was a big step for us. Also, we got an investment of $1,000, which we began to purchase equipment with and started a detail, because we want to offer a great service to our customers, not only just a great idea. So like I said, we began detailing. We also made some business cards, which we have here, which I'll give to each of you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And some of the next steps that we want to do as a company, we're hoping to launch here in April and begin detailing. And, we're gonna start slow, like you saw in the numbers, but work our way towards summer, where we're gonna be getting those details out. Also, all year in class, we've been working on the final pitch investment, which is in May. This is in front of the auditorium through the incubator program. And, that's something we've been working on all year. We're actually working on a video. Blake's helping us out a lot with that we're gonna present up there, so that's gonna be huge for us as a company. We're gonna complete our equipment purchases. Also, what we wanna do is set up a, pre-order system so that we can get, lots of people and lots of sales before we actually start offering our service. And then we actually have a website right now. We just got the funding through the, incubator program as well. And so we're gonna launch that and get ourselves ready for business. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I can start at the beginning, but I'm gonna start, well, I'll be your first customer here in this, city parking lot in April.
Alright.
We can have, we can, you know, launch that and make a big deal out of it, but, you know, I might do this backwards, but this intrigued me, so bring up the competitors slide, and then the next one, which got into, and then the next one, which got into cost. Here's where I think the part of I think the presentation is solid, for the most part. We can only slow down a little bit on our pitch, you know, I mean, you guys talk a little too fast, but you're very knowledgeable about this. I can, this has a lot of potential, in my opinion, really a lot of potential. So I have several questions here. We're on the competition. You said about Washos or something, I mentioned LA?
Yes, it's a lot. They offer a similar service to ours.
So they're not competitors though.
Okay.
But they're in Los Angeles, are they?
No, not direct.
No, God, no, they don't come near you. Now, El
Diamond.
Diamante, are they the one on the east side?
I believe so.
'Cause my wife has gone over there and had her car detailed on the east side in the industrial park, and that's where it's at. I know that operation, they do a pretty good job. Okay, so, but they don't have the service you have, they're not coming to you.
Right.
By the way, spoken like true millennials. Spoken like true millennials, you know, in other words, like with Amazon, you know, we're not gonna go out to the site, we're not gonna drive my car out there, you're gonna come to us and easy breezy and so on, so they're millennials, hey, it's unbelievable. Okay, I mean, that's the way it is.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want. So, the question I have is, what does El Diamante charge for complete detail?
I believe they charge around $250.
It's $250 for an exterior and interior.
And we can beat that price.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If I missed it, you tell me I missed it. I didn't hear you tell me your price.
You're right, Jeff.
All right.
It's on our
all right.
website,
Yeah.
$180 for the exterior detail. The full one is.
Is $250, and then just the interior is $130, and then the.
Just the interior. is
These
130.
prices are variable. We're trying to figure out exactly.
All right,
it's-
but
we're
see,
still-
that's what, if there's one part of your presentation that kinda got, and I think if you're in front of, sharks, they're gonna hit you on this point. The financing and now go up to your cost page. See, it says revenue here. I'm trying to determine, what does that mean? Okay, April, that's
So this is-
$1,000. You're bringing $1,000 in?
Yes, so this is just kind of going through month by month. We're basing this on about 63 sales in the first year. So, 95 sales in the first year, sorry. But as you can see,
How many sales in April? How did you get the $1,000 in April?
we base that, how many sales?
See, somebody's gonna ask you that question. What's the basis for you getting $1,000 in April, 1,500 in May, 2,500 in June, and 3,000 and so forth? Those numbers, what's the basis for that? That's this number of car washers. I'm just saying this. You get to the big dogs later on. You gotta have that detail, in my opinion. You know, unlimited car washes, so obviously more time to go over there. But you cover that point in your presentation. You talked about the hazards of machine,
Correct.
sending it through a machine, et cetera, and I recognize that. It's valid. There's nothing like a good hand washed, car wash, you know, with hand. So, I'm thinking to myself, $9.99 once. Would you consider, as part of this process, and maybe incorporate this into your presentation, some kind of discount to people who want a monthly rate? Want to be able to call you more than once a month and say, hey, let's come out here to the city hall here and take care of my car. I'm not looking for detail, just wash it.
And that was that was actually the basis of the
original
company
idea.
as a whole. We wanted to make subscription based, and that's something we still wanna do, in this
I
first year.
think, well, you definitely ought to consider that, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
It's a great
Let's
idea.
go, I'm going backwards here, but I got, my friends here will like this. We talked about school. Now, this is an intriguing concept.
Mhm.
Your classmates, as I used to call them when I taught high school, your school chums. And, remember that? Here are some roadblocks there. The principal likes it, you're gonna talk to the superintendent. I think there's another group of people that are gonna need to run this by, as a school board.
I'm sure.
And they're gonna have to hear about this if we're gonna do it, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that there'll probably be an issue of liability being brought up.
Absolutely.
That's been brought up. I'm not saying, by the way, I don't think the school board will be against this. I'm not trying to imply that at all. I would hope that perhaps that under the right conditions, with the right umbrella, with the right liability, whatever the case may be, except that, and I'm just thinking out loud here. Certainly, we're giving preference now to you. You've come out of the incubator program, and we're gonna let you have a virtual monopoly on the, so what happens when all of a sudden, so I'm just being candid here, somebody else comes along and says, wait a second, I want a piece of the action.
Beat our price?
Well, be sure, oh yeah, the school board has allowed for public washings.
It's already in plan, so they talk to the principal and they tell X amount of percentage will go to the school. X amount of percentage will go to,
Wow.
okay, so we want to have like a rev share, okay, so it's gonna benefit the school too.
Well, my group will do the same thing.
You know, so it's exactly.
You get my point?
Yeah, yeah.
My group will do the same thing. We'll throw money to the school.
Mhm.
We'll match them.
Mhm.
In fact, you gave me a good idea here. I think I'm gonna, when I retire from this job, I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna ask the school board if I can compete with these guys. My point simply being that could be a stumbling block that you have to work out. I don't know, but, I'm not saying that the school can't, have an exclusive right to you to do this.
Right,
But I'm just throwing it out there for whatever it's worth.
that's definitely something.
That's one of the
It's
main
not-
reason we came with the name 303, it's representing the 303 district, okay? And you already got it. And we want from here to go and like think about like Subway franchise, the whole idea, okay? Now, it's not just in St. Charles. We're gonna start going to Chicago and we're gonna start going to outside of the state, okay? Where is the warm weather? Vegas, Nevada, we're talking about Arizona, we're talking about, all those states that's warm and people need this kind of services. Now I'm talking about a real business, and millions of dollars. The car wash business is about $16 billion business.
Oh, I believe that.
It's huge. So that's why, Costco, for example, don't have a car wash. Why we're not gonna offer it to go to Costco, to their clients? That's what we talked about.
Well, and those kind of deals Rafi is referring to there, certainly you can create some kind of agreement with any business in town. Costco, with the number of cars they have in the lot, for them to be able to say at
They don't wanna let you do it.
Costco, hey, while you're in the store, you want your car washed in the parking lot, we can take care of that. Now, let's get back to detailing for a second. So I got, just some thoughts on the $9.99 and so on. Now, let's get back to detailing. So you think, your price point for inside-outside detail is, over 200?
250. Yeah.
250.
Around $250.
And how does that shape up? I think my wife paid less than 200 across town. But she had to bring the car over and it's, time, car was there all day.
Yeah, we're also gonna base this price on like how big the car is, so it's gonna, that price is kind of just like the average price point. So if it's gonna be a smaller car, we're obviously gonna charge a lot less because it's gonna take less consumables from us. But if it's gonna be a big like diesel truck or something, then that's what like the price is.
If I called you and said, my car's in the parking lot, I want you to come out here and detail it inside and outside, how long is that gonna take?
2 hours, longer than that, probably 3 or 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Depending on how many
You'll be on the parking lot for 3 or 4 hours. Now, I noticed on this sheet,
It's not there.
you have the,
Only wash.
what's the basis for the $40 of insurance? The insurance gonna cover you in case you screw up with anything?
Yes, that's
And that relates, that insurance relates specifically to the car,
Liability insurance for the car, yes.
for the car only.
That's because it's north and we're gonna get the approval, so we're kind of like riding on their liability insurance because in their parking lot, but to have additional insurance, for example, theft and stuff like that, that's gonna cost only like about $40. Okay, I mean, that's something that's
These
really,
are-
maybe, it's gonna be more expensive maybe, but again, we didn't include here the 3 more services. There's interior and exterior, and there is detailed service, and again, the subscription also. So that's only one off, so that's a quick example.
You would agree with me that the school board probably have a 1,001 question
Well,
on this.
and especially with the insurance piece.
So, for
That's what I'm
example,
saying. That's what I'm saying.
North had the gravel area right next to.
Have you talked to John Baird?
No,
I talked to
that's why
John.
we're here.
Yeah, we need to talk
We
to John
we need,
Baird
we need some.
more than we need to talk to
Yeah.
Audra.
Yeah, I think central office, this young lady is part of central office. This young lady is part of central office. I think central office is a good place, and I think even not only to John Baird, but even to, blank, finance director.
Dr. Chapman?
Yeah, Chapman. Cause he's involved in all the financials. So, yeah, I think the central office, I think, and then they have access to legal counsel. And, I admire, don't get me wrong, I admire this idea of testing this right there in with your classmates. That to me is genius, as a starting point here, to roll yourself out here, and then, you build on that word of mouth will get around. I go back to the beginning of your presentation, I thought, came out of the gate, very clear about what you wanted to do. You laid that out, what we're seeing in America now, time issues and so on and so forth. I wrote down the word millennials because you're right, I mean, this falls right into that whole,
I think they should include it in their presentation,
well,
the word millennial. or
somebody
millennial.
told me this today though, they said the trend with millennials is retail is not dead, and that the trend is, kind of moving back, and that millennials, they wanna touch it, feel it, see it, but the trend is starting to slowly move back toward retail. I don't know if I'm buying that or not yet.
It is, they're right about it,
I
but
don't know.
again,
I'm not really.
Generation Z is now becoming,
it's because
you know,
there's a
they're
lot of
older.
disappointment from the online, that's
they're
where,
starting to become,
Well, my son is one notch above, the millennials, and he certainly, wants to, he's got a child now, and he certainly wants to, he's not afraid to go to the stores to buy some things, so I don't know if it's dead or not. Can I ask this question, let's go back on this, you talk about, people do this all the time, they quote a survey. Please, tell your audience more specificity, and who was surveyed, what was the breakdown? You went through that pretty quickly, and, you surveyed, 70% said this and so on and so forth, but, I really believe that, there should be more. What age group was it that did you talk to? Was it a good cross-section of people?
they're gonna pull the survey, so we had 10 different questions, I think, that we went through. Do you have access?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so we sent it out on Facebook, Instagram, and we did, throughout our class, our teacher sent it out on a Google Classroom. So all our fellow students filled that out, and about 50 more just
Were there baby boomers in that survey? My
Well, no,
generation.
it was my generation too, they gave it to me too.
Alright,
I gave it to my friends too, so we test like, it was anything from 16 all the way up to like 65.
alright.
So we didn't ask what age, okay, but, that's something maybe we need to do and slice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think for purposes of a rougher crowd than me, I mean, I'm sold on this idea, so they know that we're the friend here, but I watch Shark Tank on TV, and I don't know who you're gonna have for the sharks here, but I know that they can be a little rougher with you. So you gotta be ready for everything, and I'm just saying, we used to do that when you did mock trial, we told them, you can be ready for anything, these kids, you know, to get the specificity about who was surveyed and so on, people like that, they like a good crowd. Out of this 100 surveys, there was a good representation of the baby boomers, millennials, Generation Z, all these other groups, you know.
Let's present a couple of questions we asked, so,
Gives a good
go ahead, how many?
How many cars in your household? And the average answer was 2 to 3, some there were 4. And then how often do you wash your vehicle? Most of it was once a month. So a lot of people don't get their car washed that often. And then where do you get your vehicle washed? And most of them are pro services, gas station, or on your free time. I'm guessing that'd be hand washing that was filled in by some people. And then when was the last time you got a full detail? And 47% said never. And 27% said once a year. And then what would make you
That's
get
about right, I haven't been once a year, that's why I might be your first customer, because I haven't had a detail in a long, long time, my wife is a little more on top of that than I am. And I need one.
And now that the weather has turned, everybody's gonna get their car washed.
Yeah, but also, if you want to surprise your wife, you can do it for her, okay, you can send the team.
And anniversary
It's
coming up, that's a good
anniversary or whatever, I mean.
You know,
that-
every
that-
girl wants a car
that-
wash for her
they-
anniversary,
They need
Mr.
to
Mayor.
bundle it right now, so.
my dad made that
It's a
mistake.
business with lots of,
Yeah.
it's a business with lots of options, so you
It's
wanna
like a
have
necklace
like, you wanna
in
sell like
the-
Groupon right now,
Cup
a
holder.
subscription for, I mean, one time, okay, so a husband can buy buy for his wife, or the wife can buy for her husband while he's in the office. So we want to take it and make it like, it's a huge bubble business, it's not just, we're coming, you calling us, right now, we're selling the service out there without even, you know.
As you advance, I'm the finance guy now over here, Nate,
Oh, yes,
yes.
yes.
When you present the financials and as you expand more into, into this project here and understand, the question I would have as far as the business is concerned, how many, as this thing grows, how many employees do you project? And what are you gonna pay them, to do this? And, I might add, we want to start getting the sticky wickets? Okay, fine. It seems to me, I didn't even write this down, but it seems to me that you're gonna go to a site, correct?
Correct.
Alright. And you're gonna have an employee go to that site, is that correct? Either one of you four, or eventually you're gonna add on people because your business volume is so big, you gotta deal with it. Okay, so now, they're driving their own car. And then they're going to the site. Now, where's the liability on that? But we talk about this insurance. The liability insurance for your employees who are driving to a site in case they get hurt while they're driving to the site. And if they hit somebody, they wanna sue and sometimes to sue your company because your employee going to the site to wash the cars ran somebody down or whatever. I mean, again, I know I'm getting into a lot of detail, but I'm just covering you here. It sounds like your business becomes one of, it's transient, that is to say, you're traveling a lot and you're going to places, and that begets the question of liability, cars, who owns the cars? I mean, has everybody got their own car? You gotta buy your own car, well, okay, fine. You paying them mileage to go all over town, or let's say to Chicago, or wherever we're talking about? I mean, these are just some questions I'm posing here.
So one of the things that we talked about, if it's okay guys, it's the fact that we should have some warehouse location, and the reason for it, because no insurance company gonna just insure a mobile truck.
You're
Okay.
probably right about that.
So it's hard, we start, discovering that part. And the second, it's also in the winter time, we need some place to do the detail, so we can drive the car. So hypothetically, if it's snowing right now, but you still want the interior detail, we can take the car inside the warehouse, do it over there and bring it back to you.
Well, I've done enough ribbon cuttings over on the east side to know that there's different locations over there, to his point about a warehouse. There's some place that'll rent you space to be able to bring a car inside or whatever and do your thing and then deliver the car back. Of course, again, in winter time,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're driving the car back and
Exactly.
it gets all kinds of salt all over it, aren't they? So, a lot of that, here's this question. You kinda had this up on one of the slides up here. Are you a seasonal operation?
We're hoping to, like, as we saw in our projections, as it gets colder outside, we're gonna do less and less details, but that's just a projection based around what the consumer will want, because, when it's not nice outside, I'm not sure as many people will wanna get their car detailed just to have it during the next day. But we're trying to that's been our biggest concern as a company so far, is the winter. Obviously in this area, it's very harsh. We've
Well,
gone
and,
through a long
you know,
winters.
you get beyond high school and so on, if you, like Rafi indicated before, I don't know what your long-term plans are, whether you're gonna go to warm weather climate or move or whatever the case may be, to where you can be most all of the year without too much interference from the weather. Here in the Midwest, you know you're dealing with at least 3 or 4 months of atrocious weather, where detailing does not, car wash, yes, detailing, probably not, I don't know. The detailing then, I think, this is a critique here, I think your presentation probably at the end of the day, I mean, I think we all have a visualization for, and the people you're representing to in a big arena, wherever we're gonna do, or Arcata, where we're gonna do that.
St. Charles North Auditorium.
St. Charles North Auditorium. That's right, the flyer said that, reading is a skill. They're gonna say something like, can you talk to me a bit about what this detailing is all going? I'm paying $250 over here. What am I getting for that exactly? I mean, I know about detailing a little bit, but I don't know that much. What are you gonna do with my car? What am I gonna see when it's all done?
So we're sorry.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we're still doing research on the interior detailing, that's the main thing, that's why our prices are kind of fluctuated, because we're still doing research on that. But in terms of exterior details, we've already performed a few of these. Now, we have about a 12-step process, to do this. So the first step, in terms of correction of your paint, that's gonna be, if there's any nicks or scratches, we're actually gonna sand those, and then we're gonna put what's called a compound over that.
Keep talking, but as he's talking, somebody better take some mental notes here to say, this could be a slide right here.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
Or
what I'm
even
saying?
video.
Well, video, better yet.
That's
Yeah,
exactly-
Better yet.
That's
So
why-
you're talking, and matter of fact, you say, if I may, I'm taking a pause here. Let's explain the video. The video will tell you what's gonna go on here, and you got a sample. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and then, after the compound, that takes away the shine but corrects it, so it makes your paint smooth. But you wanna put the shine back over that, which is with the glaze. You're buffing all of this out with the buffer. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Following that, you have to do their sealant, which we said our sealant lasts a whole year. And then there's lots of things, like, for the plastics, we have a tool that cleans up the plastics and darkens them when they fade from the sun. The wheels are a big thing. You gotta clean the wheels, you shine them, we brush them. And before all this, you actually wash the car. I forgot to mention that,
Well,
obviously.
that's all right.
But,
We assume that.
and clean the tires,
And if I may,
yes.
we always want the new car smell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, at the end of the day, the
Necessary.
new car smell, we gotta have that.
Tommy will tell you after we detailed his car, you can smell it for about.
We gotta have that, that's key, I'm really not being funny here. I mean, I say it kind of in a humorous way, but new car smell, nothing like it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
But I think that video concept is good, go ahead, Melissa.
How are you going to get the water?
Yep, that's one of our main questions that we get a lot. Right now what we're thinking is,
Well,
we're
that's
gonna,
a great one. Water.
we're gonna have, if we have a truck or whatever our transportation is, we're gonna carry a 50-gallon water supply and fill it up
Okay.
beforehand, and then if we need like backup, we can keep it in the van.
I was wondering how, Dr. Byrne raised a very good point, because, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're gonna come to the city parking lot here, my car's sitting in the back there, and I'm willing to let them, I'll be the guinea pig, I'll be the opening day, so to speak. But, yeah, well, how are you gonna clean this thing up? You're not gonna use city water, it's on your dime, I'm paying for it, so.
Yeah, but they still, for example, some landscaping companies that's doing work for the city, coming to the highway, taking water, closing it back. Now, we can pay to the city and we can benefit the city too. So I have an answer for everything. We prepared. They're
He will not be on the stage with you, though, I can tell you that right now, he will not be on the stage, you know.
I know.
So he will not be there to put a little
We still
footnote,
have 2 more months and
to
we.
put a little footnote on anything, he's not there to
Do we have some
footnote.
videos on this computer? Do we have the videos?
Yes.
We wanna show you a
Go
couple.
ahead, please.
So, that's a present from the drone guy, he's my neighbor.
Present.
Yeah, a 7-year-old, very nice guy, Bill, and he took that picture.
I'll go downstairs, something very nice.
His business card in the back, so, and he did for us the whole drone video of the cars coming in the morning and parking, and you see him, and we're gonna do the whole video. I mean, that's one of the things that the other team's not gonna do. It's a video that's gonna show exactly like why the mass parking lot gonna work.
That's great.
So, yeah, here it is. So, right, it's the video, yeah, it's hard to see, but think about a big screen
Shot.
in the auditorium, the massive parking lot up north. And that's the idea, just like to show it to the investors and tell them, there is a business, it's just one parking lot out of so many.
Beget some more questions as he talks here, okay, so and given the fact that I worked in a school district and worked in this system for 30 years, and knowing how school operates to some extent, especially at high school. So, how do you get the message out to the students? I mean, you can, it gets down to some board policies regarding student businesses. I mean, this is kind of new territory too, in my opinion, so does the board have to create a policy on something like this?
So
I don't
the
know.
second year of this program, Accelerator EDU, a big part of that curriculum is working through all the legal aspects.
You know? See, and I think that's huge.
Mhm.
It has to be done, you can't shortcut that, but I'm glad to hear that it's in place, that you work through that.
And they will actually become an LLC as part of that, if they make it to the Accelerator program, part of that process is becoming an LLC.
We have no, I tell you that we have no seniors here.
We have 2.
Yeah, so Blake and I are seniors.
So they would be part of the second year.
Well, so they wouldn't be part of the second year program, but the two, what year are you guys?
We're both juniors.
So they will continue in the course, and then the two
Buy
that have
these guys out.
graduated can still remain and work with the students, and then they
Well,
can
that's
hire
good
on
to hear.
additional employees.
Yeah, I got that.
We're already thinking about to incorporate the business. And you think it should be a LLC? LLC business?
Well, limited liability, yeah, but I'm not an authority on that,
No,
that's
no,
why
we're gonna go more into
that makes sense to me.
Mhm.
That makes sense to me, but I'm not an authority on corporate, I taught business law for several years, but, in that realm, I'm not gonna sit and, offer any kind of legal opinion, that's illegal anyway, when I'm a lawyer.